Good evening, and welcome back to the Chronic Yet Undefeated podcast. This is Caitlin here, your host on this journey through chronic illness topics. I'm going to be real with you here. This Tuesday, I felt so drained, out of energy, and didn't want to get out of bed. It was so difficult to wake up, and feeling like your medical issues took flight while you were trying to get the rest you needed is so super difficult. I slept in and still needed a nap halfway through the day. I had planned on doing quite a lot, chores plus so much more. Tuesday is often the day I record my podcast to get it going to release by Friday. And while I tried to put my every effort into recording on Tuesday as usual, it didn't happen. Here I am, late Wednesday night, and I'm feeling waves of nausea. I'm sitting here hoping and praying it'll all go away. I've been struggling with a headache this evening that feels like the entire left side of my head. It hasn't been fun. It was super difficult to be social when I went out earlier, and I forgot to try to take pain relief before I left the house. Yay me. As a note, I took pain relief when I got home, but it hasn't worked at all. Hormone-related headaches are so great, aren't they? I sincerely hope that you all have been hanging in there and have found moments of relief in your life from chronic illness. I pray that you all will have amazing days ahead of you. I know even I will have better days ahead. It's just hard when you're trying to get past all the symptoms and focus on everyday life when you need to focus and it's not coming to you. I hope you all have been able to soak up the small victories over the past few weeks. Still remember that you're not alone in this, and everyone has their battles. There are times when I'm not that real about my chronic illness when I go out. I might be hanging out with others, whether at an event, someone's home, church, or somewhere else, and someone asks the dreaded question, "How are you?" How many of us honestly respond with, "I'm good," or "I'm okay," or "I'm fine," without even flinching? I'm thinking many of us do because people often ask, "How are you?" And instead of wanting a genuine answer, they're hoping for a culturally appropriate answer like, "I'm doing good, how about you?" Only a year or so ago, I thought hard about this. Without even realizing I was doing it, I was lying to people. Being a person of Christian faith, this didn't settle well with me. It didn't start as lying for enjoyment. I began telling lies because others didn't want to handle my problems. They didn't want my burdens. They didn't truly care how I felt. Now, that's not saying that no one cares, because there's a great deal of people in this world that care about others. But I began wondering, how did I get to this point? As I pondered that question, I realized it. I remember in college trying to make friends with others. I came across someone who seemed to be a genuine friend at first. When I expressed I didn't have a lot of friends in casual conversation, they said, "Well, when you meet someone, what's the first things that happen?" I explained what normally happens, like we start talking, and I often use stories that are relatable to the conversation, as that's my love language. I'm a storyteller. Or I share a bit about myself or my struggles. Then they're like, whoa, stop right there. And they just said, "You can't unload on people. You're scaring them all away." And there was another time that stuck out to me. I was an adult going to the church I was raised in. I was standing outside in the cool winter air by myself after a service. I heard a voice say, "How are you?" I said, "I haven't been doing too well." They replied, "Well, are you going to be all right?" I mentioned, "I don't know." And they weren't sure what to do with all that. They walked away. Perhaps they didn't understand, or maybe they didn't even hear me fully, and that's the best I can assume. However, if they legitimately heard me and walked away so they didn't have to deal with that didn't make me feel much better. It only made me feel like I didn't matter. I remember sharing with someone how I felt like others at the same church would ask me, "How are you?" But some of them didn't seem to care or wanted to listen if I told the truth. Then this person that I was talking to told me, "Oh, sweetie, church isn't the place to dump your problems on people." My heart felt a little hardened against the church in that moment. If I can't bring my true self to church or be allowed to express myself and to feel, then what am I in this for? If only I had thought about what God's word said in that moment. But I didn't. I only thought of my feelings of rejection. I was only concerned on not being emotionally hurt. But let's remember that Galatians 6:2 tells us, "Carry each other's burdens, and in this way you will fulfill the law of Christ." We are called to carry each other's burdens and to be there for one another, to encourage and uplift one another. We are not called to walk into church only to walk out and avoid everyone. I've become guilty of just that over the years, as I felt for so long that people weren't going to care about my problems. I became like the people that asked, "How are you?" only to not mean it because I wanted to avoid the hurt. I didn't want to be rejected more. I didn't want to feel like a burden again. The one thing I've noticed is that this is something planted by the enemy. Demons want to keep you hurting. They will do anything to keep your heart hardened against one another. They will do anything to keep you away from church. They will do anything to keep that brick wall between you connecting with someone that could be a crucial part to your healing process one day. The devil loves isolation because he knows it is a polar opposite of what God intends for us. When there's no other people to help or support us in times of need, when there's no one to come to us with a word of correction, when there's no one that knows what we're going through because we don't say anything, don't think that the demonic influences don't use that. I can guarantee you that they do. Sitting alone, staying disconnected, and not fully engaging the purpose God has for us allows strange voices into our lives, voices that may sound good at the moment, but we're told that the devil is the father of lies and that lying is his native language in John chapter 8, verse 44. Everything a demonic influence pushes through is a lie that has a little bit of truth hidden in there. But put it all together and you've got twisted truth, which is still a lie. I want to encourage you all to not keep to yourself, but to find community with others, to find fellowship with others, to do what you can in your situation, to not let isolation consume you. Being chronically ill can make that hard when we may be stuck in the hospital bed or stuck inside for days or weeks on end in our own homes or in our family's home. Here are some tips that I have. I'm just trying to think what else I've got. I'm really been foggy the past few days, but going on with those tips that I have. Try to stop yourself from lying whenever someone asks, "How are you?" For some of us, it's purely habit, and it might take time for us to identify this and to stop because it's a bad habit, and we're trying to protect our minds and feelings from the rejection and the hurt. Number 2, you can tell the plain truth as it is if you'd like, and you wouldn't be in the wrong because it's the truth. Another way to do it is, if you've been cautious over the years, is to say, "Would you like me to tell you the honest truth about how I'm feeling?" I've also heard others put it like this: "Would you like me to tell you the truth or a lie that everyone would love to hear?" If someone said, "Tell me the lie," and you said, "I'm doing great," then that still opens the door for the person that asked, "How are you?" to walk away or genuinely ask, "What's going on? Are you okay?" or "How can I help?" In the same manner, it can leave your feelings on a firm foundation because you're allowing either result and are at peace with the decision the other person chooses. Number 3, the truth is, we'll always come across people that care and people that truly don't in this world. What matters the most is that we know who we are through Jesus Christ. We guard our hearts and minds with God's word every time. Just because you feel ashamed, made a mistake, or feel rejected doesn't mean that God flat out abandons the relationship he wants to have with you. People make mistakes. People say things they regret later, and it's our job to be kind and not always take things so offensively. God desires that relationship with us, and it's okay to come to Him as we are and express that we want to follow His will for our life and to fulfill the plans He has for us. Romans chapter 5, verses 6 through 8 tells us, something truly powerful that is, you see, at just the right time, when we were still powerless, Christ died for the ungodly. Very rarely will anyone die for a righteous person, though for a good person someone might possibly dare to die. But God demonstrates His own love for us in this. While we were still sinners, Christ died for us. That's something that's so important to remember. Christ died for us even though we didn't earn it, even though we didn't deserve it. That's how much He wants to be part of your life. This week, I want us to focus on being genuine and honest with others. This is something that I'm going to continue working on as well, because I need the improvement too. I don't want to be openly telling lies to other people. You never know when you may have a bunch of people that don't care, but one day you have a person that's truly wanting to invest their time to be your friend or to help you because it has been placed in their heart to do so. They may even be your biggest support or a miracle in your life. Don't let that slip by. As we wrap this up, I wanted to mention that in future podcasts, I've been wanting to do a Q&A or add in questions during different podcast episodes that others have wanted to ask. If you have any questions that have been on your mind, definitely send them to epilepsy_awareness@outlook.com. Again, that is epilepsy_awareness@outlook.com. You can also find my email on my channel page on YouTube or in the description of this video. I hope you all have a wonderful night, and make sure to keep in mind that forming meaningful connections with others as we're able is incredibly important and beneficial to our physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional health. Have you formed any meaningful connections lately? Let us know about it in the comments and how it has impacted your life. Is there something that really resonated with you today? Click the like or the subscribe button. Thank you, and I hope to see you all again next time on the Chronic Yet Undefeated podcast.